Joining me now from Brussels is our correspondent Dave Keating. Dave, do these announcements mean that there could be an end in sight to those vaccine wars?
No is the short answer. Actually, the 75 million extra doses are not new. This was what the Commission negotiated in an additional purchase with BioNTech Pfizer the first week of January. The Commission already was public about that. And these 9 million extra doses from AstraZeneca were already offered by the company last week. Interestingly, the Commission said last week that was not good enough. So I think this is a case of the Commission desperate for some good news here and actually rehashing some old news about vaccine availability. The reality is that extra delivery from AstraZeneca still only means that 40 million doses will be going to the European Union. That is way less than the 80 or 100 million doses that the company owes to the EU, depending on how you read the contract. So this is still just half at the most of what the company was supposed to supply. So the efforts to try to make AstraZeneca deliver what it had laid out in its purchasing agreement will continue on the Commission side. And one of the tools for that will be this export transparency mechanism, which went into effect on Saturday, which could try to claw back some of the doses that the EU thinks inappropriately might have gone to the UK.
Tell us a little bit more about that export mechanism, Dave.
Well, this took effect Saturday. It requires every company, every pharma company that wants to export vaccines that were made in the EU out of the EU to notify the country that that plant is in. And in theory, the country could deny that export authorization if that company still owes doses to EU countries. Now, the Commission says it don't think it will come to that just the requirement for the company to declare that it plans to export will be enough to kind of shame it into not doing that and to making sure that it meets its EU orders first. But if the EU did trigger this export restriction, it could be very controversial. Obviously, for the moment, it's targeted at AstraZeneca. It's time limited only until the end of March. And there's an exemption for 92 developing countries as well as wealthy countries in Europe that the EU has partnered with, like Switzerland, Norway, the Balkan countries. But the UK, Russia, Canada, Australia, they could all be affected by an export restriction, particularly if they use this against Pfizer. Pfizer says it's back up to 100% of delivery to EU countries. It's still a little unclear whether that's the case, but the facility here in Belgium makes the entire world's supply of that BioNTech Pfizer vaccine outside of the United States. Canada even gets its supply from here in Belgium rather than next door in the US. So if the EU did use that for Pfizer, it would be a very, very big deal. The Commission says that's extremely unlikely, especially for Pfizer's case, because they do seem, for the moment, to be meeting their commitments.
Dave Keating, thank you.